Today, I'm going to teach you how to crochet these 3 adorable Pokemon plushies. These are amazing gifts and work as amazing keychains. They are so adorable and so fast to make. These might be a little bit complicated for a beginner crocheter, but I promise you they are totally worth it. I mean, look at them. Today's tutorial is a little bit long, so there are some timestamps linked down below in the description so you can hop around which Pokemon you want to make today. Guys, this pattern is so easy to make. I'm literally making it on my bed. So first you're gonna need your yarn. You can choose your color and your size. I'm gonna be making another charmander, that's why I chose orange. And you're gonna need the hook size that goes along with your yarn. You're also gonna need the other essentials like scissors, a stitch marker, and stuffing, but we'll get to that later. The body base for our Pokemon are all the same. So if you're making a Pikachu, just use yellow yarn. And if you're making a Bulbasaur, just use blue yarn. And also, if you're making a Bulbasaur, be sure to stuff him extra plump and nice so that he's plump. And for Pikachu, stuff him a little bit less so that he's skinny. With that being said, I'm going to get on with the pattern. To start, we're going to use a magic ring to start our crochet piece. A magic ring can be a little bit tricky. Down below in the description box are linked some channels where you can find out how to make your own magic ring, since I won't be teaching you in today's video. And we're going to make 6 single crochet into the magic ring. So that's 1 single crochet, and we're going to make 6 of those into the magic ring. There is 6 single crochet into our magic ring, and for round 2, we're going to make 6 increases in every stitch. An increase is 2 single crochets in 1 single crochet. To start off, make your first single crochet and mark that stitch with a stitch marker. You can also use a bobby pin or any type of safety pin. All we need is not to lose that beginning stitch. Now we're going to go into the same single crochet and make another single crochet. So now, as you can see, I've gone into the same stitch twice and made 2 single crochets out of that. So that's what we're going to be doing in every round, in every stitch, increases. In the end, you should end up with 12 stitches. So I'm going to do another one. That's our first round done. Our second round done, of course. There we got our increase round. And now we're going to take off our stitch marker and make 1 single crochet into the V. That's our beginning stitch, so we're going to put the stitch marker on that one. For the next round, we're going to make 1 single crochet, 1 increase. So starting off here, I've got 1 single crochet that I just made. Now I'm going to make an increase in the next one. Keeping in mind that an increase is 2 single crochets in 1. 1 and 2. There's another increase. Now we're going to make another single crochet. And then another increase, and we're going to alternate like that all the way around. Here's what it will look like after that round. So let's just take off our stitch marker. And for round 4, we're going to be doing the same pattern. Now we're going to be doing 2 single crochets, so 1 single crochet into the next one and make another single crochet. And after that, we're going to make 1 increase. So 1 increase, 2 single crochets in 1. And we're going to alternate between 2 single crochets and 1 increase. All right, now that that round is done, it should start to look like this, and we're gonna begin round 5. Stitch marker. And round 5 is 3 single crochets, so 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then an increase. 3 single crochets, then an increase. All right, here I am after that round. And this is about as fat as our little Charmander or our Pikachu or Bulbasaur. is going to get. So now I'm going to take off our stitch marker, and there we go. From round 5 all the way to round 7, 1 single crochet in every stitch. So 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, and on like that, just 1 single crochet in every stitch, all the way up until round 7. Here is our little Pokemon after 7 rounds of single crocheting. I was just single crocheting like crazy, scrolling on YouTube. We're ready to begin the next round. We're gonna be decreasing in this round, which basically means taking 2 single crochets and turning them both into 1. Basically, decreasing the amount of stitches and closing up our little project to finish it into like a little ball shape. So, for this round, we're gonna make 3 single crochets. And after three, so as you can see, after 3, we're going to stick our hook in the front loop of our first and the front loop of the one after that. Pull through and pull through both on top. That what I just did was an invisible decrease. You can do a regular decrease if you prefer. I just finished that round with my decrease. I'm gonna take off my stitch marker. There we go. Now at this point is where we're going to start stuffing. I literally ripped the stuffing out of an old pillow. You can also use yarn scraps or felt scraps or anything fluffy to fill your Pokemon. I'm just gonna use this pillow fill. I'm just gonna put it in. We want it to be nice and tight. We don't want it to be hard. I'm gonna continue stuffing it once our hole is a little more closed later. For the next round, we're gonna do 2 single crochet, and then 1 decrease. So 1, 2, then a decrease. There we go. Now to stuff a little bit more. For the very final round, we're just gonna do 1 single crochet, 1 decrease all the way around. So I've already done 1. Now we're gonna decrease, 1, decrease. I'm done with the round, stuffed a little bit more, and I just finished the final decrease. And here's what we're done. I'm gonna take off the stitch marker, and now we're gonna chop the yarn. Now you will notice there is still a bit of a hole on top, and we're gonna get rid of that. So just leave a long tail, pull the loop through, all the way through. That way there's no way it'll come undone. This is your last chance to stuff. What we're gonna do is we're gonna see we have all these beautiful V stitches, and we're gonna go into the top loop. There. And we're going to grab our yarn tail and pull through. Down. The next front loop, we're gonna go through, up. Oh, yeah. Our next is gonna go up, up. And we're just gonna go like that. Up and down with our yarn tail until you've done that through all the stitches. It's gonna start gathering. Keep on pulling, it's getting closer. Just like that, our Charmander body base is done. As you can see, this is the same body base for Pikachu. If you wanted it to be kind of like Bulbasaur, then all you got to do is smush it down and stuff it more to the side. Let's just roll it up for Charmander. There we go. And so that's the bottom done. And this we're going to hide inside the crochet piece. We're going to stick it in a few other places. Now with our bases done, it's time for the details. There aren't really that many details on today's Pokemon. except for these two, which have ears. I'm going to teach you how to make the ears in the end. And Charmander does not have an ear, but he has a tail and a belly, a yellow belly. So we're going to make the yellow belly next. So grab your crochet hook, stitch marker, and some yellow yarn for his belly. Make a slip knot, then chain 4. And we're going to make a single crochet for row 1. Single crochet all the way down. There we go. Now that we've done that, we're going to turn our piece around and go onto the back and make 3 single crochets on the back side of the chains. So you'll end up with 6. There we go, and now we're going to connect into the first stitch that we made with 1 single crochet. And we're gonna put our stitch marker on that stitch. And for the second round, we're going to make increases all around. So into the same one we just put the stitch marker in, and make 1 single crochet, another single crochet in there to make it an increase. So increases all around. Round 3 of Charmander's belly. Here I've already done my first single crochet with my stitch marker. Is 1 single crochet, 1 increase. So there's 1 single crochet. Oops. And I'm going to make 1 increase in this one. 1 single crochet, 1 increase all the way around. That looks actually really good. All right, so leave a long tail for sewing. Pull about and get your yarn needle, and we're going to sew it on. All right, I finished sewing on Charmander's little belly. As you can see, there's some very simple whip stitches there just to hold it in place, just so it doesn't come undone. Now it's time for Charmander's tail. Charmander and Pikachu are the only 2 Pokemon here who have tails. Pikachu's is a little thunderbolt. I'll teach you how to make his later. But for Charmander's tail, you're going to need the body color, which is my orange. And we're going to make a magic ring. For round 1 of Charmander's little tail, make 6 single crochet in the magic ring. So there's 1, and we're going to make 6 into it before closing the ring. There's our 6 single crochet, and let's make 1 single crochet in the beginning stitch, and that's where we're going to put our stitch marker. For round 2, make 1 single crochet into every stitch. So no increases here. We're just making 1 single crochet in every stitch. You should end up with 6 single crochet at the end. There we go. I just finished the first round, and as you can see, nothing much has happened. Always be sure to try and keep the inside flipped out. So for round 3 and 4, it's also 1 single crochet in every stitch. I'll see you back after round 3 and 4. This is how it should look after round 3 and 4. Now we're going to chop and leave a fair long tail for applying to the body. Pull through. And just like that, we've got a perfect Charmander tail. This is the tail of the Charmander tail. I'm just going to stuff it in. Now to sew it on. You want to make sure the tail is not too on the bottom. Circle my yarn needle around the little tail area, tie a quick knot hidden in the crochet piece in there. All right, so that's Charmander's adorable tail. Now, of course, we're gonna add a little flame to his tail because Charmander's iconic flame. But before I do that, I just want to say that Pikachu's ears are the exact same pattern as Charmander's tail. All you have to do is, instead of stopping at round 4, continue crocheting till round 6 to make them taller. Then once you apply them to his body, all you have to do is flatten them for the perfect Pikachu ears. Same goes for Bulbasaur, but for Bulbasaur, you stop at round 3. Now, before the face, let's add the little flame onto his tail. Take a long strip of your fire-colored yarn and chop it. And what you're going to do is you're going to stick your crochet hook into Charmander's little tail and take your fire yarn and pull it through. And this loop is going to go around these. Boom, just like that. And we're going to chop off the excess. We can trim it down a little bit more later if you don't want that, if you don't want it to be too long. And we're going to do another strip. Exactly the same way we did the first strip. For orange, or yellow. There we go, now to chop. And now I'm gonna do a strip with yellow. I'm gonna do some strips with yellow. So here I've got my little Charmander tail of fire. And if you like Charmander's tail fire to look like this on his little tail, that's perfectly fine. But what I'm gonna do is take it a step further, and we're going to brush the yarn and get it to start to frizz up. And that's going to make it look just like a real fire. And the red and yellow yarn are gonna start getting really frizzy, and it's gonna make it look just like a fire. But what you gotta do is keep brushing. See, they're starting to fluff up, and it's gonna make it look just like a real fire. I love this technique. This is the technique all crochet sellers use on the projects that they want them to look fluffy. And there we've got our adorable little Charmander flame. Now that we've got the details in, it's time to start working on the faces. And by the faces, I mean the little eyes, the mouth, the cheeks, the little freckles on Bulbasaur. I'll demonstrate the eyes on Charmander, but the eyes for other Pokemon are the same. You can also make the cheeks the exact same way you make the eyes, just have them sideways instead of right side up. First, we're gonna chop a generous strip of black yarn. Preparing for our eyes, I'm gonna thread our needle. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick the yarn needle in through his side and exit right where I want his eyes to be. And I'm gonna pull through. But I'm still gonna leave a little bit of a tail in the side because I'm gonna return to the side in a second. All right, so now I'm just gonna make the eye by, make the second eye. There are the two eyes, and for the mouth, I'm going to make a straight line right here. There's the mouth, and I'm gonna bring it down just like this. And grab the yarn and bring it down to where it's supposed to go. And there's Charmander's adorable eyes and mouth. And now I've returned the thread to here where we started. I'm going to chop off the excess, and I'm going to tie a knot right here so that the eyes and mouth don't come undone into the stuffy so that it can't be seen. And there's our adorable little Charmander. Of course, we still have to give him hands, but the hands are in fact very easy. All you need is to make a magic ring and 6 single crochet into the magic ring. Leave a long tail for sewing. Pull it nice and tight. And I'm just gonna sew that on. The yarn tail from the handpiece can easily be hidden by sticking your crochet in and pulling it under and leaving it somewhere in the body where it won't be seen. Now I'm going to do the same thing for his other arm, just the same thing I did for Pikachu and Bulbasaur back there. So now that our Charmander, Bulbasaur, and Pikachu are all adorable looking, Now I'm going to teach you all how to do the bulb on Bulbasaur's back. The bulb is actually very, very easy. All you're going to need is some leaf colored yarn and your crochet hook and of course a stitch marker. Whoops. All right, so first you're going to start with a magic ring. I've finished the magic ring and I've added 6 single crochet into the magic ring. Now we're going to do 6 increases, so 12 stitches in the end of the increase round. Round 2 is over. This is how it looks. Now for round 3, 1 single crochet, 1 increase all the way around. So 1 single crochet, that's where our stitch marker goes, and then 1 increase in the next one. Do that all the way around. Here's how it looks like after round 3, and for round 4, 5, and 6. So for the next 3 rounds, it's just single crochets all the way around. So I'll see you after 3 rounds of single crocheting. All right, so here I am, and it's 3 rounds later of just single crocheting. And here, what we're gonna do is 2 single crochets, 1 decrease. So there's 1 single crochet. Now for another. And then we're gonna do a decrease just like I taught you. 2, and join them together. And you're gonna stick in your hook in the next one. All right, so do that all the way around. I just finished the last decrease and it's the final 2 stitches, so just do single crochets in them both. Now we're ready to begin almost the final round. All right, so for the next round, it's 1 single crochet, 1 decrease, but in the back loops. What that means is that when we're crocheting from now on, for this round, we're only gonna be using the back loops. So here, where I would normally go in to make my single crochet, I'm only gonna go in the back loop. So we're leaving the front loop open. So here I'm gonna make my single crochet, and now I'm gonna make my decrease, but I'm gonna use the back loops for my decrease. So there I've stuck it into 2 back loops. And now to pull through them both. And just like that, a regular decrease, but we're leaving the front loops open. So do your round just like that. 1 single crochet, 1 decrease, back loops only. Never forget to stuff before it's too late. Now we've got our little potted plant for Bulbasaur. Now, you can stuff it, you can sew this onto Bulbasaur as you want, or if you want the little leaves on top, I can teach you how to do that as well. So for the little leaves on top, we're going to need the rest of some more green yarn, and this is what we left those front loops for. You're gonna go into the first front loop and we're yarn over and attach your green yarn, and tighten it nice. And with your working yarn, you're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And in the second chain from the hook, make 1 single crochet. And in the next one, make 1 half double crochet. And you're going to skip the next front loop and go into the next one. Slip stitch, and then chain 4, and do the same thing all the way around. So you'll end up with little leaves on your pot. And that, my friends, is Bulbasaur's little bulb on his back. So that's Bulbasaur for you. So that's Charmander and Bulbasaur completely finished. Really the only thing left is Pikachu's tail, which is in the shape of a thunderbolt, little thunderbolt. So I'm going to teach you how to make that. So get your Pikachu colors, which would be yellow and black. Start with a slip knot, and then what we're going to do is we're going to chain 4. Alright, for row 1, just make single crochets down the row. So go into the second chain from the hook and make single crochets down. for row 2, chain 1, turn, and just do the same thing, single crochets down. But before you finish your last stitch, we're gonna leave it like this. This is where we're gonna color change to our yellow yarn. Here I've got my yellow yarn. Finish the stitch with your yellow yarn. And to begin the next round, chain 1 and go into the first black stitch and make single crochets all the way down. And for the next 4 rows, all you're going to be doing is chaining 1 and single crocheting all the way down. So here I finished the 4th round, and now what I'm going to do is chain 1 and go across again. So I'm making it one more round, one more row, and here is where I'm going to go down onto the side and make 1 onto the side, 2, 3 single crochet, and now we've moved on to the side. So here on the side, we're going to be continuing just like normal. So chain 1, turn your piece, and make 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. Oops. 3. Then all you gotta do is chain 1 again, make another one. So for the next 5 rows, just keep doing that same thing, single crocheting back and forth 3 times. And then after 5 rows, we're going to change onto the side again. So here's how it should look like after 5 rows. And here's again when we're going to go onto the side again and make 3 single crochet onto the side. So that's 1. And then I'm going to chain 1 and single crochet across this. And just like that, we're going to be doing that for another 3 rows. And 3 rows later, and cut the yellow yarn with a short tail so we can hide it in the body, and cut the black yarn with a long tail, because this is the one we're going to use to sew onto the body, connected to the body. Use the same technique I showed you to hide all the yarn tails. It looks awesome. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. It makes me so happy that you decided to crochet one of these little guys, because I put a lot of work into designing their patterns. And please let me know down in the comments if I should create patterns for the rest of the fam.